All right, welcome everyone. This is a very exciting night. Um, the teams have been working a lot of hours to get to this point. So what I am going to do, since we also have some guests, I'm going to go quickly through what these projects were about, and hopefully I'm not going to screw it up, and and give you a little context of what the teams had to contend with and what kind of knowledge they had to build up just to get started. And then each team will talk about their specific approach. There's a lot of really cool innovation and uh, unique twists to the topic which we're going to talk about today. There's a technical publication that focuses on AI, and they coined 2024 as the year of RAG. RAG is retrieval augmented generation. It's the cornerstone of what the the two project teams groups have been working on. But first, I wanted to talk about the use cases. So the first use case is a company called WaterTech. WaterTech specializes in pool cleaning devices, handheld robots, and the company was founded by Guy Ehrlich, who is an FDU alumni, and they do all of their R&D in the US. They invent every single night. They have these massive 3D printers. They print prototypes all the time. Then they have these small mini pools in their R&D facility where they test the products and test innovation and improvements to the products. And they have a massive warehouse, and they distribute globally. You'll see them at every big box office in the US, and you'll see them in international distribution, and they're growing rapidly. The use case for WaterTech is how do we ingest the technical information about our products in the form of manuals, owner's manuals, technical manuals, and data about our products, and put it into a chat GPT-like interface in order to be able to answer questions. And this use case manifests itself to multiple different variants. As Tam, who's been loyally meeting with the teams on a weekly basis. Tam is the head of supply chain. He's also an alumni of FDU. And the ability to understand the corpus of text that describes the products and to be able to ask questions about it, it can help with training of new employees, being able to, if you want to grow internationally, then how do you distribute that knowledge evenly so everyone has access to the same knowledge base. It can improve the level of service that you provide to customers if everyone knows how to answer questions about products and servicing them, et cetera, in a consistent manner. So that's the use case for WaterTech. WaterTech, this is the team for WaterTech. Yopeng, Sergio, Chris, Nathaniel, and Ashley. Those were supposed to be brochures falling from the sky. And there is a picture here of Tam in the middle because he didn't make it to the photo, so Guy made sure to include Tam in this photo. Totally AI. The second use case is RSG. RSG Media is the leading company. It's a software platform as a service solution for the media industry, film, TV, and consumer products. Their platform manages all the rights, royalties, residuals, participations, anything that has to do with making money or extracting value from an IP asset is what their software does. Here, the challenge that they asked us to look at is how do we take the ocean of contracts that our customers have when we onboard them to our platform. They need to be able to enter those contracts into our system that has very discrete fields with essentially a mapping exercise. So this use case also plays well into a RAG approach, and it's about taking a unstructured contract and ingesting it into these mapped fields. Miss anything? All right. So here, for this team, I didn't have any special effects. We have Rushi, Christian, Linabel, and Sridhar in one of the teams, and a second team, Neil, Lavanya, Valentina, and Sriram. So, sorry, I didn't have time for special effects. Now, oh. All right. So the challenges with, I guess I did. So the challenges with PDF conversion, there is there is a lot that has been published about how do you extract information from PDFs, but it's not as easy as it seems. The problem is that the tools that exist today that convert from PDF to text, they treat it as if it's just a regular Word document. They extract the text and put it into a text file, but a PDF is never that simple. You have multiple columns, you have tables, you have illustrations, you have graphs, and a table could be laid out horizontally, vertically. So there are a lot of mistakes that happen when you just do a straight-through translation. This is one of the challenges both teams had to deal with. For WaterTech, you have a brochure that has, again, an illustration, and sometimes in a brochure, a technical manual, especially if somebody thought about how do we make this really easy for people to read, let's not put a lot of text, let's put some really clear illustrations. But now, where's that information about the product? So you have to be able to understand what does the image actually depict. That's one of the challenges. Those are challenges that the teams had to deal with. So I talked a little about RAG. I'll give you a very quick 2-minute primer on what RAG is. RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. So the idea is you have a document, right? And because LLMs, you can't just take the document, throw it into an LLM, and expect it to be able to answer questions, because LLMs behave like humans. If you read a big book, you probably remember the last few chapters. You don't really well remember the first chapters. And if you're going to take documents with hundreds and hundreds of pages, it's the same problem. You can't just throw it into LLM and expect that it'll be able to answer questions. So what we do is we break it into chunks, and we take those chunks, store them in a database with a special encoding called vector encoding. These are vectors that have 1,536 array of numbers, and they represent the meaning, not the words, but the meaning of the words that each of these chunks of text represent. And then you have a question that you want to ask about this text. For instance, how do I replace the battery in my pool buster? So what you do is you ask that question, and then you have to figure out which of the chunks that I've already stored has that information. That is called the retrieval. Once you do the retrieval and you figure out, oh, here are 3 chunks that contain that information, you bring them in, and now you go back to the same question, and you go through the generate phase. You say, here's my question. Here are the chunks of text that are relevant. Answer the question in context to those chunks. And that's when you get the answer. So I'm going to pause there, because when the teams talk about their approach, you will see that they've taken a slant on this approach. There's a lot more innovation that was thrown into this beyond just, this is traditional RAG. Everyone is doing this in industry. It's the hottest topic. But I will now shift the focus to the teams. I wanted you, and especially I want the students, I want you to look at this chart and appreciate these are technologies that 99% of you never worked with or knew very little about. And these solutions rely very heavily on these, on very extensive development on top of these. So you should applaud yourself for being able to do that. And now we'll start with the WaterTech team. Have Nathaniel come up here and talk about your approach.
Well, I'll just start. We had some slides prepared. Hopefully, we can get through it. Great. My name is Otoniel. So thanks to everybody for allowing us this opportunity to go on this endeavor and really kind of just push ourselves. It's been a really, really fantastic experience. I can't thank Professor Dagan enough for his guidance and support, and also the support from WaterTech. Really appreciate it, Tam. I'd also like to say that I've been the project manager for this, and I also wanted to introduce the rest of our group, starting with Sergio, who has been handling the data integration and documentation. Next would be Ashley, who manages the database and Python scripting. Next would be Chris, who oversaw testing and quality assurance. And finally, Yu Peng, who developed the front-end graphical user interface for the project. Before we start our demo, I really wanted to walk you through a little bit of the process in developing your document management system. What we were able to accomplish is a basic and functional RAG system that provides users with search and retrieval functionality, a basic interface that can be customized to suit branding. What else? Sorry. Initial training and support documentation, and support very minimal basic support for multi-language document retrieval and translation. So there are several things that it isn't capable of at this point due to time constraints. However, the great thing is that the foundation is solid enough for you to build on. That said, the professor kind of stole my thunder. I was going to talk about RAG a little bit, so now I'm debating on whether I want to continue with it,
Maybe
but I think I will.
maybe you can emphasize some of the things that are extra on top of basic RAG in your code.
Well, that's what everybody else was kind of going to do with their slides, so I'll just kind of continue. Sorry about that. All right, so do we have the next slide? Great, thank you. So RAG, which basically stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, it's a process that begins with a user query, and I'm really simplifying this because I know a lot of people aren't very technical, so I was really trying to keep it very basic, so those of you that aren't could kind of get it. Pardon me. So it starts with a user query, which is a question seeking information, and the system retrieves relevant data from a database. This data is then sent to a large language model, or what we call an LLM, and that generates a contextually accurate and informed response that gets sent back to the user. So it's said that a picture is worth more than 1,000 words, so in that effort, next slide. Here are your 1,000 words or so. It's an overview of the process of a RAG system, and my hope is that it breaks things down to clear ideas that make it easy to understand how this solution can directly support your goals and drive measurable results. So at this point, I think I want to just hand it over to Sergio to kind of discuss his part on the next slide. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sergio Solis. I was responsible with the documentation and data integration of the project. And just again, on behalf of the group, as well, I think like I said it before, thank you for coming here and giving your time so we could show you what we hopefully have showed and accomplished everything you guys have addressed in your problem statement. So our project was about creating an AI-powered document management system, which we have, but there are a lot of components that come along with that. So to begin with, I have PDF processing. So PDF processing is the method of using to transform complex, unstructured PDF documents into structured, machine-readable data. In other words, the machine is actually able to use the PDF documents and retrieve information. And that's done through the process of partitioning the PDF. In other words, separating it and taking text from the instructions, images using as diagrams, and data from charts and using it as tables. Then we could apply the process of enrichment, which is applying to enhance the extracted data and adding summaries, tags, and products, names, or addresses. In other words, the meta tags are able for the machine to understand any useful information and that's relevant, such as the page number, the page count, where it's at on the page. And finally, we go to annotation, which is the final step. And that's where metadata, like coordinates, are used to mark up the original PDF for visual references. After that, we go into chunking. So, like Nathaniel said, not many of you might be that tech savvy, and that's okay because neither of us were before the project. But chunking takes the enriched and organized data from PDF processing and divides it into smaller logical sections. In other words, you take a PDF that's worth, 100 pages, you split it up and separate the chunks so that when you retrieve the information, it's able to retrieve it a lot more easier and more efficiently. So the process includes setting limits on chunk size, such as, it depends on which chunk size you use, because if you use too big of a chunk size, then you might miss important and relevant information. If you use a smaller chunk size, then you might possibly not get enough context to have an accurate answer. So the reason that we used chunks for this project was because it made the application easier to handle when it came to large, complex documents. So they allow for more precise searches, and it allows the users to retrieve the most relevant sections rather than combining the whole entire file. So this enables the application to understand and process complex queries, even if the exact words aren't used For instance, searching for cleaning steps can still return results labeled as maintenance instructions. So by working with smaller enriched pieces of data, the application becomes faster, smarter, and more user-friendly, allowing a better performance and an overall improved experience for the user. However, we did encounter some challenges when it came to including PDF processing and chunking in our project. A significant challenge, as I've said previously before, was the fact that we needed to find the right balance of chunk size, and we also needed to worry about overlapping when it came to chunk sizing. So as I mentioned before, large chunk sizes miss details when it's processed, and if you get a smaller chunk size, then you may lose context, and that is crucial when it comes to having the machine reply with an accurate and appropriate response to the question or the query that the user has given. Ensuring meaningful embeddings for all chunk types, including images and tables, is also another hurdle that we've come across. When it comes to PDF processing, some challenges were the fact that we were only focused mostly on text-based PDFs and documents. So if there was in the database a document or PDF that had multi-columns or was just entirely images, that could certainly be another room for improvement when it comes to our project. But other than that, thank you for your time, and I'll hand it off to Ashley.
Nice.
Hi, thank you, Sergio. So right now I'll be explaining a little bit about how our system processes and answers questions about water tech products using artificial intelligence. So first, let me explain what vector embeddings are and by using a simple analogy. So imagine translating words into numbers, and in a way that similar words end up with similar numbers. So for example, the word pool and swimming will be close in numbers because they are related. But the word pool and car will be very different because they are unrelated. So this is basically what vector embedding does, but instead of single numbers, they use lists of hundreds of numbers to capture its actual meaning. So this translation helps the computers understand and compare text in a way that it captures the meaning like that outside. So this part of the project has the main components of this project is for embedding, storing, and query processing. So as mentioned before, we take the product manuals and then we break them into smaller chunks. So each chunk is converted into a vector embedding using OpenAI's technology. So think of it like creating a numerical map of each piece of information. So for the storage system, all the content in vector embedding are stored in the Superbase database. The database uses special technology called PG Vector that lets us search through these numbers patterns quickly. And then our database is organized to keep track of which information belongs to which products and manuals. And for the user query processing, when someone asks a question, we convert that question into the same type of vector embedding. Then the system finds that the stored vectors are mathematically similar. And these similar matches are actually the relevant information from the manuals. The AI model then uses this information to generate accurate and referenced answers. So now I'll be letting Chris speak from Special Refinement.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Natali, and my primary focus has been on the question refinement and the quality assurance. The question refinement is a crucial part.
Maybe you can speak a little louder.
Of my user.
Throw your voice.
A crucial part here.
Well, that's just for the recording.
A crucial part of our system that ensures user queries are clear, specific, and actionable. That is question refinement. This process involves guiding users through refining vague or incomplete questions into well-structured inputs that our system can process effectively. By doing so, we can not only enhance the accuracy of the information retrieved, but also improve on the overall user experience by reducing ambiguity and frustration. Once the refined question is generated, the system embeds the question as mentioned prior, Once again, it would search for the relevant documentation and generate precise and comprehensive answers. The goal here is to bridge the gap between user intent and system output, ensuring that every query receives the most accurate and relevant response possible. In addition to refining questions, I've also focused on qualitative testings. This involved testing the systems for edge cases, monitoring how it handles vague inputs, and identifying areas where improvement was needed. I tested outputs against various user scenarios and ensured that the system performed well across a range of queries. This process allowed us to refine the system's logic, strengthen its ability to handle complex or unclear inputs, and improve its response accuracy. Looking ahead, I believe there's significant potential for continuous improvement by incorporating user feedback, enhancing the refinement process, and optimizing the AI models. We can create an even more and robust and efficient system. Thank you for your time, and I'll give the floor now to Yofe.
All right.
So I had to bring an app called Flunch to them actually. Hello everybody, my name is Function. This is my part. My part is doing the GUI for the whole project. In fact, to make the user feel better in using our GUI, I make it simple. So in our GUI, I just do the same format from the Watertype website. It's like the port website, and then I only put the search space and the SNU and upload and in my web page. In my future plan, I want to add some program to let the user can upload the file and call in the chunk program to chunk the file for when the program gets the file from the website. And that is that you guys want to see my website?
Sure.
Sure.
So actually, if a guy at CAM would like to christen it, come on out.
Come on down.
That's like your feet at the host. To have it, you know, all this book, then jets. And for the people that are Vortex will not here, have some manual full course. Like sticking people.
So we're actually going to use Ashley's TP because we want them to see the website.
The occurs to see listing. Okay, that's functionally, but yeah,
Sure. Here's Spank.
sure. Not really sure what going on.
Oh, that's a great project.
Some purchase, but that is going to be yes. Okay. Until they set up, they get set up. Let's take this in later.
So do you want to explain a couple of the rules and scope? So it's basically your document.
Louder.
Speak up.
So if you ask them, like, where's Japan, France, it's not going to answer that.
Yeah, inside.
Yeah, inside.
Yeah.
So you tell me within the scope of your documentation.
Sure. Okay.
Some example questions. It's not perfect.
Yes.
But it's functioning, basically.
Yeah. Right. So, okay. Get this tried. I type it in. Yep. Okay. So, for example, I'm going to ask for the part number for a Full Blaster Max.
So don't forget, part numbers are not there because it's from the manual. So ask something that has to do with the manuals, like how to replace a pole, replace a battery, something that you would find in the owner's manual.
Got yeah. How to replace the battery of the Volt castles. We use Volt for hardware. So I to replace the battery for Volt. It's for okay. Right. So you know. Right. So. Good view. All right. I replace the battery of the Volt FX4. Hold on. Set. Use the dash.
Do we have the FX4 in it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'm ready.
Let's get that.
This now. Do all the this question. Okay.
How do we replace the battery on the Volt FX4?
It's asking questions based upon the owner's mind.
This is clarification now.
So guy, can you read what it says?
Can you confirm if the Volt FX4 is a model of Vortex Full Blaster back cleanup or another brand's tool clean device? Confirm. Okay. If I can, I can confirm it is a WaterTech Pool Blaster product. Okay.
WaterTech product.
WaterTech product. Okay. and I was going to get graded on my typing skills.
It's okay.
Scroll down.
Scroll down.
Okay.
It's out there in the first.
Yeah. All right, so it's giving me a document.
So it tells you which document. You want to
Just,
try another guided question?
But it gives you the document reference essentially.
Yes, but we want to be able to get more instructions.
How about a how-to?
I'm thinking that the FX4 through it, like if you repeat the question just with faults, I think that's what appears in manual. The manual doesn't call it out properly.
Okay, I thought one of those sample questions you could like, that'd be,
There you go.
lose some, yeah.
And then can Tamlin do the same question but with French?
You could try.
We're getting fancy over here.
Oh, this is good. All right, what languages are contained in your user manuals? All right.
What languages are contained in the user manuals?
Yeah, that the answer. That's to do it about a specific manual you're looking.
Volt FX4.
Okay.
Just write Volt.
Volt. All right. Volt.
Because each manual might have different language support, right?
Good. Translate. How about millennials? Means relation. Is that the fault is not directly addressed in the provided product documentation sections?
We have another question that you guys have tested.
Like,
Sergio, what's another question
What's
you guys
another
tested?
good question to us? Good try.
wow, is it weird? Is it battery life?
Yeah, like how do you replace the battery on the full buster?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, bully.
Yeah. Hamburgers. Is that's for another question.
Oh, yeah. Is it?
Okay, but it's
Question, how to use the battery.
So
Okay.
while he's putting the question, just to explain there's some really fancy footwork happening here. They're not just answering a question, they're intervening your question asking and putting it through a separate engine that clarifies what do you actually mean to make sure that they have all the information to answer your question before they pass it to the answering engine. So it's not perfect. And
There we
there's some
go.
But here, this is what a good answer
this is a
would
good
look.
answer. There
What
we
was the
go.
question?
So I asked, what is the battery life? And that is a very vague question. So Chris was in charge of sort of getting that query clarification. So then it asked, what product are you looking for? So then I submitted again Pool Blaster.
Yes.
And so the answer was the Pool Blaster 2000 is a pool cleaning device that offers superior cleaning efficiency and a high capacity battery for up to 3 hours and uninterrupted. And here it says the document in which we found this answer, the page number, and the product.
Can you have Pam put that in French?
You could try.
Question correct?
Noted.
Hopefully this will work, but if it does, don't forget that WaterTech is growing their global markets. If the manual is written in English and you can ask questions in another language, that's very powerful.
Experience. See, you can send it to then it just the fun goes to your book. True. I not say that.
Oh, Pool Blaster and such.
That's looking news. I'm an investor.
You put in a different product. I'm not sure that it's.
Do you have to put it back in French?
Like now you're at the beginning of it, right?
Yeah, at the beginning of it, and it's going to be in English again.
French is looked at answer. Let me repeat it. And that's good. That's getting in non-existent.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Quelle est
Quelle est
durée
la durée
de la
de la batterie
de
de Pool Blaster?
And do you have to say it without the Pool Blaster?
Pool Blaster,
Blaster?
Which spécifiquement le Pool Blaster,
la durée de la batterie.
la durée de la batterie, le Pool Blaster, la réponse est. There you go.
Ah,
So this should give you a feeling for it. It can handle multilingual. We didn't instruct this to respond in the original language, which is
that's a specific instruction.
Of course.
Yeah.
but you can see that it's ingested all of your manuals. It's answering questions based on the information in the manuals. And you've seen, we won't have time to look at it in detail, but one of the things that Tam has seen is that your illustrations are getting translated into text. So there is an image of a woman holding a pool blaster over a pool, and the text that we are ingesting is a illustration of a woman holding a pool blaster over a pool with a wide deck.
Cool.
All right. Cool. Is there anything else?
No, that was it. I mean, the
Yeah,
parking,
please.
parking is something.
Yeah, well, that's,
That's more to develop.
Tam, yeah.
Of course. If I may,
Yes.
Guy, so I just want to share, over the past 8 weeks, I had a chance for every Friday night at 5 p.m. to spend an hour with these folks here. And I couldn't do anything else but that. It was such a pleasure, to be honest with you guys, to be with these folks. For a company of our size, medium-sized company, constantly growing, some of these opportunities might come at a price or a cost that bigger companies can sometimes attack, right? So when we collaborate with our alma mater and such a great school, it offers us also an opportunity to engage in these new innovations that we might not have otherwise, right? And regardless, what we saw today here is wonderful, but it's what it inspires us to think about that's even better, right? Today we saw something in English that I was able to enter something in French. We're a growing business. We are becoming a global business everywhere in Europe, in South America, in many countries. And every time we think about attacking these new challenges, these new global expansions that we want to do, we think about the cost. We think about how are we going to support these initiatives. What AI does, what these students have done, is inspire us to say, hey, maybe we have a way here to leverage technology to be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish. So one thing that I'll tell you guys is kudos. Congratulations for all the hard work you have put in here. I told you I was in very technical, and what I was looking for throughout this whole journey was how I can push you guys to be the best professionals you'll be when you come out of here. And all the skills that I have seen, all the traits that I have seen, they will translate in the workforce, and they will make you the best professionals in your industry. I'm sure of that. So congratulations. Thank you for everything you've done for us. And we cannot wait to support you in any way we can, in everything we do.
All right, Christian, you want to grab the lavalier?
Yeah, just come back to you.
We're good to go?
Gonna go for it.
Yep.
Okay, so
All right,
good morning,
guys.
everyone.
Attention.
Thank you for coming here today. My name is Christian Nunez. I'm the database analyst and front-end designer for our project.
I'm Rushi Patel. I'm the graduate cybersecurity, and my role is business analyst, quantity assurance, and the testing.
Yeah, this is Sridhar. I'm doing masters in computer science. In this project, I'm working on software development and data integration.
My name is Lena Balsamaggio, and in this project, I was in charge of doing the documentation and the project manager.
Yeah, so as the professor already explained, we're going to explain our software. Our software in this case is a clause extraction software for rights documents. In this presentation, we're going to first show the slides, and then we're going to go through our demonstration, and then after we'll leave it up to questions. Okay. Cool. So our general overview of the project, how we go is first we do partitioning, then we do chunking, and then we enrich all the documents, we store them, and then we retrieve the clauses. Like, don't worry, I know there's a lot, but we'll go through each step one by one. Okay. One main thing that I want to ask you guys to make this easier to understand is for the why is how exactly do you read a document? Because right now we're going to see that the computer is going to go through the same process as we do for reading any document. So next. So partitioning is when we split the document into smaller sections. Usually it's every single line of text, every single paragraph, bullet, picture will be put into its own separate, saved into its own separate location and used for further processing. The reason why we do this is mostly because it's easier to handle the data when it's in this form. We won't have a bunch of white space, and it won't just be like a file that is unreadable for the computer. So next. So this would be an example. So here, so as a human, you can see that we could tell that this is a picture. This is a line of text. Date, picture, date, and then the actual date. But the computer just sees like a mess right here. So when you next, so when you do partitioning, sorry, I don't want to block it. But when you do partitioning, here you can see all the boxes for the partitions. This is what the computer will be seeing mostly. So it will see that the sky image over there is an image. The contract license agreement text is text, and then the table for the asset is a table. So next we do chunking. So in chunking, it's also like sectioning off the document, but in this case, it's more like we're sectioning them into similar sentiment, similar meaning. So a situation would be like if we would put all of the information about one particular, like if we're looking for the royalty rates, we'll put them all into one chunk, and this makes it easier for further processing when we're looking for information or doing anything we want with the information. So in this case, we also do this because later we have token limits for the LLM, and this allows us to not put in the whole entire document and fit our prompts inside of the token limit. So here you can see on the left is a picture of the document with all the partitions. So here, this will be the chunks. So the chunks would show that this is a table. This information is all similar. This information is all similar. It's kind of like how we would read it on a normal document. So next, enrichments. So the enrichments would be how I thought of it mostly was enrichments are used to add a uniformity to all the documents. You want to have something consistent in every single document so that if you have 3 different contracts, you can ask one question that works for all of them. So an example would be like if you have a license period, what we did is that we would put a tag in angle brackets saying license period, and that would add consistency to all our documents. Ideally, you would want every document to be the same, but that's not really possible. Let's see here.
I just want to point out, especially to the RSG executives, this is the special sauce because RAG, everyone does that. Important. You guys know that this step of enrichment, which also applies to WaterTech, of describing what has already been described by the extraction from your PDFs, is what allows the teams to hone in on the extraction in the precision that you were looking for. But go ahead, and then you can refer. Yeah.
This is a much more savvier approach. We tried to do something similar, but gave it hints, and that also had bias in the model. So part of we've been doing this problem ourselves too, but over time there's new techniques, and this was I think the sexiest approach that we saw. So
Cool.
we're really keen on. My boss is also slacking me as well for us. So yeah, this is something really cool that I'm looking forward to. Sorry, Mr.
Oh no, it's okay. So Next slide. So we have an example here. Yeah. So this is one of the main problems that you were talking about, where we have a table. How do we deal with tables? So what we would do is that we would first, so this table goes through two types of enrichments. So it goes through a summary. So what it would do is that we would put the image of the table into an LLM like ChatGPT and ask it figure out which way the document is read, and then read every single line, every single row or column depending on how it's read in a sentence. So in this case, it would be if the asset has a reference number of 1 with the title of Canadian Rodeo of the Year. The number of episodes is 4, with each episode being 60-minute duration, and it would just continue. This is what it says here. This was outputted by our program, and then after that, with the summary, it will take that summary and then do text tagging on it again. So it will put that this is the reference, this is the episodes, the asset text, amount, total license period fee, availability date format, so that later when we're doing extraction, it will make it easier for us to extract this information. So next we put all these chunks that are enriched into a database. This database will allow us to first be able to store multiple documents so that we can just have them ready to be extracted whenever we need. And then another important thing about having a database is that we're able to use vector embedding or vector search, which is essentially just a similarity search. So this will help us with retrieval, which we're going to explain next. Oh, okay. So retrieval, what retrieval is we essentially take we're going to first ask the database using vector search. We'll ask, where is the chunk with the license period? Okay, so it'll look for the chunk with the license period, and then now it'll just work on this chunk. And so it'll work with this chunk, and it doesn't need to worry about anything else. This is why we took partitions and turned them into chunks, so that when we ask this question, it's way better to ask this question. And then afterwards, once we have this chunk, we'll ask it a second question, and the question will be like, what is the beginning term of the license period, or what's the beginning day of the license period? And this is where we would use our tags, the enrichments, to explain it. Check where it says tag term to, or term from, and the LLM will go check right next to it, check where the tag is, and see that this date is the term from date. So, yeah. So this is an example. This is a diagram of what we do for retrieval. We'll ask it the first question. Usually for RAG, they use this question for both for vector search and for asking where the clause is. But in our case, we have two queries: one to know where it is in the document, and one to know where it is in the chunk. So,
or to get the specific answer from the chunk.
Yeah. So next, so we do this. So we'll do this for one. We do this for each box. So we would do this whole cycle for one term in the contract, and then we do that for each term in the contract. So next. Yeah, it will do it for each term.
Someone needs to go on mute. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so we do this process for each term in the document. So we do it for the rights, territories, channel type, languages, etc. Any questions?
All right, so Shiv Kavani, you want to
pretty good.
come over and look at the demo? Do you want to do the demo?
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you share the demo laptop?
Okay.
And if you guys want to explain to your client what you're showing.
Yes. Okay, so okay. So this software is the ingest software. So first, this will do chunking and database ingest. So here, if we run it, here, so if we press 1, it will ingest the PDF. 2, it puts into an easily debuggable markdown. That's mostly for programming. And then 3 is to send it into the Superbase.
Are you doing it one at a time for the ingest, or you can do it in bulk as well?
You can do it in bulk as well. One. So yeah. So the ingest takes a while. Yeah. Honestly, it took like 7 minutes last time.
For all 10 contracts?
We did 3 contracts. Yeah. So we did 3 contracts and made sure that.
You took both a mock-up one and a real one, right?
Yeah, we took the 2 mock-ups and then we took 1 real one also.
And when you're doing this ingest that you're doing right now, this includes the enrichment, right, as part of it, because they enrich it before they chunk it, so that the partitions have the right.
I enrich it after I chunk it.
You enrich it after the chunk,
Yeah.
so you take the chunks, and then you use the chunks to find the text. So what you are doing before that is doing the table to text, right?
Yeah.
And then you chunk it, and then you enrich it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So first it enriched the table to 4, and now it's enriching the text.
That's just out of the box open source, open AI model, right? For the
it's an out-of-box OpenAI model.
Yeah. And using unstructured I/O, which helps build the pipeline for the processing of the ingest. When you're gonna want to implement this on your side, you can use your own private model. Pretty much the nice thing is that what they're doing, that enrichment piece, that's the tricky part, and that has nothing to do with whatever PyMu PDF or whatever library you want to use, because that text is almost useless when we get it, which is why they go back and say, okay, since we do know where this table is, let's throw that into further enrichment, and they use prompts that you'll be able to look at later to generate a much more meaningful text, and then use that for the chunking.
So yeah, above it also it prints out the text that it just enriched.
Maybe pull up the splits so you can see a little more.
You're doing it for all 70 fields? For the enrichment?
This is for the document. This is the enrichment. This is not the mapping yet.
Yeah, this is not the mapping.
Yeah, I would like to see the prompt that you created for enriching the
Enrichment? I could.
Not now.
No? It's loading right now, so I can show it to you. While we're
He's
waiting.
like, I can do that.
Since
That's cool.
had this close back like this, so we have a good example. Here,
Like any entities that are isolated tables, like the
Yeah, it's blue.
like lines that are with like multiple
Yes. Yeah, we have an example when we do extraction where it will take ads.
Yeah.
Any more?
Go on. Two more.
Two more chunks.
So they're annotating, they're drawing those rectangles around the actual contract.
Yeah.
It's more for debugging or for you to be able to see how things are being parsed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something like a board we can use to help us see what's longer. So we kind of better watch what we want.
Okay. Open with. Okay.
Don't worry. Yes, it's from the that's what must be it's well as that is I think it's not
Outside of here. So this is the document that we're using.
that's
Okay. So this is the document that we're using. Yeah. So Sky. So from this document, go to cursor. We have here. This is what the annotations create. So they create. This for debugging. This shows the partitions that were made.
Yep. Yeah. That's cool.
And then here. Started. Behind this fucking. Yeah.
Can you, Chris, can you call out the tags that got generated? Just explain to the folks who are looking on as well.
The tags are generated.
Yeah.
Oh, on the top right.
Well, no, open up one of the chunks and explain what this shows.
So here, okay, so here I'll just explain this one. This markdown doesn't really show everything because there are actually 50 chunks. It only shows 8 chunks here, but I only open it to show that these partitions here, these are all separate partitions that you could turn into one consolidated chunk with all the information that was present in here. Here it does have the tags. So if you go here, this is the same text that we just saw before, but you can see here it actually has the tags.
Can you zoom that out to just to see a little clearer? Yeah. So like.
I really like the annotations.
Not the other way.
Wait, other way?
Zoom in. I mean, zoom in.
Zoom in. Oh,
make it legible.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you see like, can you point out a tag here?
A tag. So
yeah, like.
Contract title,
yeah.
Licenser.
Yeah, so this was not in the contract. This is what they added. They added the tagging that highlights between these two tags is this piece of information.
Licenser address. Yeah.
Yep.
1 Hogwarts Road. Yeah. So.
all the way to
So.
sorry.
Okay. Here. Okay, so that would be the chunking, partitioning, and enrichment. So now, afterwards, so here on the show. So here is the current database that we have right now. So these just to show that it's actually being ingested. So these are the 3 documents that we have. When we press ready, enter. So right now it should enter another supply one Canadian Rodeo of the year. So it first loads the document and then now it's loading at each individual chunk.
You're separating the text chunks and the actual extraction.
Oh, yeah, we're separating the chunks into a different table, yeah. And we have one table for the documents and then one table with all the chunks. So here, we have
That's a table. That's a document table. Right?
yes, yeah, this document table, we uploaded one document. Let's see which one it is. It's this one, so this is the one. So
you now show the chunks.
So here, and then now in the chunks, you can see with filters to make it easier to see. So now This is a table filled with all of the chunks.
And we'll open up one of the chunks.
It's a chunk. This see the tags. I can actually get you a table chunk here. That's one. Table chunk.
They're treating if it's a table, it will stand in its own chunk, so it doesn't get mixed with something that's not a table text.
Yeah. So here,
We talked about tagging it. Like a
very cool. And my down. That's everything for the recently just and company original partitioning everything. So now we'll do extraction. Let's see. This one, so here, so when we run it, how we have it is so that you need to say the name of the document, so you guys just extract everything in the database. So here, run. So for this we mostly focus on the right section. So all the other ones will be blank, but we can fill in all the other ones. Yeah. So
for those who are not are into the details, the next phase that they're now showing is everything's been encoded, stored in the database, it's chunked. Now they're actually doing the mapping. This is mapping 60, 70 different fields that RSG wants to be able to port out of that contract. This is that translation from unstructured document to structured list of values.
okay, so here, so what we found is that when we run it, we always get the right answer, but we also get a wrong answer. Like this can also be fixed. This can be fixed with better problems.
Okay.
So
Is it always storing the same value, or is it audio visual words? Does it issue?
For this one, it always stores audio visual. Yeah, but here you see this is the territory. We focus on this one. This one is completely different.
Yeah, that's really. So try to find jump to us, right?
Yeah, this part is wrong.
It's green side. So that's tactical. That's you guys.
Yeah. That one we didn't. For the ones that we didn't focus on, we didn't do as much.
But you got the text on sorry.
So you have a dedicated production association for that. Yes.
Problem.
So they want
For each entity?
so you will have to wait to do give me a list of applicants who has that and
So, it's more like when I'm looking for the list of assets, it just can't tell that audiovisual work isn't title, but you can tell it to look for this, make sure not to look for that, and it'll know. So here, so now I want to show. So we have three documents here. We have the RSG contract 1, 2, and the supplier 1. But I want to show that it works consistently for all the documents. yeah, I want to make sure I'm not cheating. Oh no, that's fine. It's for the other one. So right now it's working through all three.
Yeah.
We mainly focus on one section because we were getting very limited also.
Yeah.
Just like the other group. Again, yeah, program factual, so yeah, territory, and then from, this will be, so this context, this has a table with all the assets. So this one would be something that you were talking about before. So here, yeah, it has all the assets. Some of these are
Lights that came with that.
yeah, but it has all the assets. And then here it has the territories. And then it has the temporal. So the temporal
It's according to each concept where the value of that.
so it's according to the unique ones. So the ones that are correct here are supposed to be these two, and then it's supposed to be to be decided because.
All right.
Well, let me, you guys did a great job.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you very much. All right.
Let's get a picture.
Good evening to our respected dignitaries over here. This is a pleasure meeting with all of you. And I'm so happy to deliver our project with collaboration of the RSG Media from Fairleigh Dickinson University of the B1 Vortex group. So, myself, Lavanya Burapo, I'm the project manager of the team and also have playing the role of testing and the quality assurance. Valentina, she is leading with the software development and front-end and the backend. And then me, the Prajapati, is having the lead of database administrator and business analyst. And one of my teammates, Sriram, and he is having the lead of documentation and data integration. So let's go to a quick project overview of the AI data extraction. Let me give a quick intro about the RSG Media. It's a well-known leader for providing the media and data solutions for the content management. Sorry. And for this project, the main goals are like to extract the data accurately and precise for the unstructured contract PDFs. Which means the PDFs are with the the PDFs are contains with the large data which is unstructured, and you have to deliver in a structured way with the given variables and prompts, and it's delivered in Excel and JSON format. So how we gonna deliver this data on the basis of the privacy and data security? So on behalf of the tech side, let's give an example for how we have done this project. We all aware of the textbooks, right? You all?
Yes.
So how the textbooks gonna look like, how the text and how the content is in your text and thing.
Nah. They thought it works.
And large text and large paragraphs, right? The whole workbook. So for example, your teacher is conducting a test, quiz type. Let's say, who is the hero of the RSG Weekend?
It's good.
So what are you gonna do? And there is a lot of text in your textbook. So you're gonna check in which chapter it is located, like where it is, and that's the chunking. And you wanna do the enrich, you wanna find the relevant information by how text or how where it is stored in the tags or in the tables. So according to that, you wanna give a prompt who is that gonna be a fresh sheet. It maps to the output what you wanna get, the exact variable. The output will be it's only one word. There will be only one person, right? I mean the hero of the RSG Media. So it's gonna check through the event prompt from the stored from all of the text in the textbook, and then it gonna give you the output. And do you want to see how our approach works in real life?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, we use the same approach as they did. So like, we're not gonna like go over all the same partition and chunking and all the stuff that they already showed you. I use the same technology. We use like a couple of different approaches on like the prompts and like the text enrichment. And I actually did like I did the backend using Fast API. So we kind of have like a front end using Next.js. It's like very simple, but like you guys can like choose the document and upload it, and then like it does the whole adjust process since like the partition and chunking, all that. So let's just like start doing the adjust here because it takes a while to.
And second,
So
let's go for the differences.
So we have the backend, have the front end, and then here we're gonna use Fast API, and it's
Let's talk about what's fine with the API piece.
Yeah, that basically we're just using Fast APIs to like have the front end, and basically whenever we ingest the document in the front end, it calls our whole backend and it does like the whole process that we went through.
Which is, I think, something. It's another interesting twist separating front end and back end. So we built an entire API just for the processing and the response, so you can build whatever front end you want, to upload, download Excel, etc. And they have a full API done for it.
The front end is
Like the folks like end users are actually like lawyers.
Exactly.
Yeah, front end to them too.
Yep.
it's obviously very like I didn't really have time to make it look good, but
Right, it's beautiful.
it's just like there's 4 pages, so it doesn't take forever. And while I was doing the uploading, we can go through the whole process here and just like expound some differences. So we have the text before enrichment and the text after enrichment. And then let me go on the enrichment.
Just that for RSG context.
Yes, first 4 pages. So not all answers are gonna be there, but and we have the rules we use here for the tagging, because sometimes it was hallucinating. So I would like input a contract and it was just like John Doe, email John Doe at RSG Media, and like John Doe does not exist. But yeah, so like we had to like
So they set the temperature at 0.
yeah,
Yeah, but it had to do with the accounts because I think they figured out the OpenAI uses more than maybe a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So they played a lot with the prompts to get rid of temperature.
yeah, because like temperature 0 was like did not generate any text besides one on the contract, and it was like still like I just realized that like the more I ingested contracts, the more it was like hallucinating. So like sometime in the beginning it was like the chunks are all right with the tagging, and then like after you started creating like some John Doe examples, but you want to go over the
Of course. You guys, so while this is generating enrichments, I can quickly take you guys through the actual place where we have implemented the enrichments part. Basically, the idea is kind of the same with the other group, but I'll show you where we have kind of added a unique point in them, and it is right here. So
there's like for the text arrangement.
it's
and the tagging.
Just like wait, can I use your laptop real quick?
Yeah.
And
so this like just to summarize tables, and then we separated also into like tables, images, text. So here I was like
only tag, never generate new tags. That's strictly forbidden. Like, do not make any assumptions. So we had to like keep telling that. And these are tags. And I also gave like some examples because it was like I wanted the chunks to be stored into like single tag. So basically like not like exploiting the metadata and like storing it separately. So I just wanted like the whole text to be like this. I just gave it some some examples, and it was helpful. So
and a little change was in the title as well. That previously we were not enriching title as well. Now with the help of taggings, we didn't call the OpenAI, but we did the taggings and we have done the title as well. Like in some cases, title includes, for example, sample licensor, which is the licensor name of in the contract. Now, without tagging, without any suitable tags, we were not able to get it from the retrieval process. And then we did the tagging for the as well. So that is one good thing which we did for title as well. We like kind of distinguished, like separated both the elements. One is text, narrative text, and one is title. To get everything that we want. And it was a lot of trial and error based on the prompts. Yeah. And that's how we are like, it was like parallel, like enrichment. While doing enrichments, refining the enrichments, we were trying to have the same kind of taggings in the prompts as well, which we now talk about the prompts as well, like how we are using the enriched, the tags in the enrichment, and then we use those tags, and then we lost the, so then we can find the exact accurate thing to all.
Yeah, so like let's see what the output's gonna be now, but like I basically try to like do the retrieve and generate question based on our tagging. So I'll just give it like the tag chunk and be like, these chunks like contain the information we're looking for, like help me like develop, retrieve, and like generate questions based on the chunks and the tagging that we have. So it's giving some examples, but like sometimes we'll like ingest the contract and like without even changing the prompt, like the answer will change, but like most of them are like constant all the time. So yeah, if you guys want to take a look later, like to the retrieve generate questions for each variable, but basically just like telling you what to focus on and which type of like text to look for. And
that is not.
So yeah, yep. Yeah, these are, I need to like, it's \n, but it's supposed to be different lines. So definition. So I just suggested the first four. So this is like so like if we can compare to the contract here. So like sample licensor, RC media, the address for sample licensor, the address for RC media, deal name, and then the period is right here on this table here. And yeah, some definitions. So the definitions of the right granted here of extended catch-up is right here.
What is the status? It's like this.
Yeah. No, the status terminated is just because it read agreed.
So in one of the chunk
here,
it is
we gave it to read, like if it said like
read
executed, then terminated, or like signatures, and it's not just like leave it and respond like in progress or
for the fonts that are correct. We can show the error is not creating your status. Yes. Can you, Valentina, can you pull one of the generates prompts that you show sample?
Yeah, like right here?
Yeah, so maybe if you can focus it, maybe if you load it up a little so it's a little larger on the screen, but show how you hold in on the text to get pinpoint outputs for variables.
Yes. So
overlooking these the size. I got Connie. Okay. Go ahead, you can dive it. Be able to do this. I did. I'm making solid PU. Who knows? In the next
Oh, you don't need to like actually zoom in.
Why not? We get appearance. Command. That's sorry. Zoom in. Yeah. Okay.
So let's say we have the the chunks stored here with the embeddings. So So here we have, where's the,
Yes.
okay. So I would just give it the chunk, and based on the tag text, active if the agreement is currently in force, terminated if show signs of being completed, executed. Like just give it
I
example.
meant where in your response you are specifically referring to a tag in order to get more.
Oh yeah. So like find tags containing status or legal text.
Right, because what most people will do is they'll look for the text that describes it in the body. That's traditional language. This is almost like on steroids, right? You look for the tag that we've already got for you, use that as a way to
So like for license or address, we just do find tags containing address tags that appear immediately after the licensor. And same thing for licensing and for document language, product tags with language or language version mentions.
And listen, coach, you don't need to call the LLM if you have the time, right? That's
But no, the reason
I think rely on it because there's still an understanding of the text, right? And you might have one of the things that they didn't get to do yet is what happens if you have information that's spread across a document, right? Or even if it's spread across a chunk because it's a table, then LLM is probably a better route. That doesn't mean you can't go with like Meta's new 50 billion model or something from yeah. Just put it on a nice GPU.
And then here, oh no, but like we can just see like the embedding being done. So like it looks for so processing variable contract currency, and then found 5 matching chunks, and then the similarity of each chunk, and then
they're tracking. What was the UFX experience in the civil? Was there out of the clocks? Have read it was some layer responses?
yeah, the embedding. Yes, I just told like that I wanted like the embeddings to be stored here as a vector column.
And the chunks are big enough that playing around with, you play around with different embedding model, you play around with this, they're using cosine, you can play around with if you want. I don't think you will get it. I think what they did with it, what they did to get the enrichment of the text goes way further than finding out. But the chunk is probably going to be 99% white chunk. Tracking information is where I just take it.
And Professor, the example which you told about previously, like a particular value could be in many chunks, in like so many tags. One of the variable is assets, in the asset tag, in which it is the value which you want us to extract is episode, season, and it's documentary, and then other 2 more things like a product. Now, that particular things are in like so many chunks, and it falls under 2 different tags, which is product and one is rights as well. And that was kind of like, then the pattern, then we like kind of got, if you find in both of the chunks, or if you see in some of the chunks, they have company tag as well, opening, and then one more tag is also opening, which is part. And then there is the actual keyword inside. So which means like, if you find this, then it's okay. If you don't find in this tag, then find that. So that is how the prompts are designed and that based on dimension. So it goes like enrichments and the prompts.
I wanted to like our plan was to here just have like a button just to like download it section the output, but like we were getting like sometimes the mapping wasn't right, so I just decided to like focus on the prompts rather than that. But
however, like, if I can share the screen in that, so it was like I had the similar approach before we had we got introduced to Fast API, where we were trying to implement this
which is this main program right here. Like choose. Now here you see these tasks. So these tasks is, if you see, like the first one is like ingesting the PDF. This is the whole workflow. The first one you see, it is ingest PDF, does enrichments, does everything. Then it goes to creating markdown. However, there is a variable issue right now, a bug in that, which is not showing the clear markdown output. But then we go to the third step, in which it is storing the chunks in database. Now we are loading the JSON file, the chunk JSON file to this program. We have all the programs down there which are calling after each task is called. Then it is going to generate Excel output. Now here it is including 3 files. Like one is here, like this file Excel function has all the variables, and then Excel generator, and then there is the RAG function right here, which is doing retrieve. Like we just having 2 calls, retrieve and mat. And then it takes all the process variables, it takes here, generator on this, converts and makes it an Excel output. This was the approach before Fast API, but we are trying to work on that too, like how we can have everything off the website. Maybe we need to add the route to call it backend. Yeah. But yeah, it works. Guys. And you want something to listening, it was a very good opportunity that was began as RSG folks and given us to. It was a very good learning experience. Not gonna learn things that are easy, but actually and then it is good. It just but it will work. I'm proud of you all. Oh yeah, that one. One for more graphic detail. Oh, you know, we'll all do it. Thanks. We'll have more in it. Well, put it once to like this. Oh, right. Very fast and help. You know, a little. I think some very, very rough of you. Get out there, get to it. Let's go get into the you want to have a like 1 minute on the work that from your perspective? Yeah, sure. Or your perspective? You know, you get our off less than a team, and you'll have fun. They're all the budget.
Just a general overview, or just
your first like bit of fantastic plans, man.
Sure. Yeah, so just from my perspective, I'm Chip Sago, SVP of Analytics at now RightSign, a company recently got acquired. And so part of this is coming with new tools and techniques to investigate losses. But, honestly, we sell software. That's our job, and a lot of our software is all around managing the media inventories. And the biggest issue is getting data into the software. But we have teams that are trained paralegals out of India who are literally, this is my first job actually, taking the contract, ingesting it into the system. But there's many scenarios, especially with mergers, acquisitions, and even some companies, Mattel, for example, they have warehouses that just have paper contracts. So the first thing we need to do is zone them. Yeah, I mean, we're talking 3 to 6 million, contracts that are not even digitized, right? So we literally have team members going in, scanning them through this, remote scanner, digitizing them, then sending it to the team in India to actually one by one ingest our system. So part of what we're looking here is to come up with new new techniques in a more cost-effective manner to to quickly ingest these contracts and make sure that businesses can operate understanding that, hey, if we want to exploit some IP in Malaysia, right, we have our full list of IP and inventory that can be licensed and exploited in that territory. Just by way of example. So
Lavani and I, we have a couple of team members as well, but we are a lean, mean machine, and this really was a great opportunity, and thank you specifically, where, especially in an area where there's so much technology evolution that's coming up every month, right? It's hard to keep up with the different techniques. So this was something that we were extremely interested in terms of finding new ways to get a better solution at the end of the day.
In full disclosure, we've known each other for a very long time, but you guys hired a very large company that I worked for to try to tackle this, and you were not able to do it. Yeah. You didn't have the right tools, the right technology, and things have advanced so well that you guys, who didn't know anything about RAG and all of these technologies, came up with some eye-opening suggestions.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this problem for 10 years, right? Even before this AI, advent of AI. So there was Reva, former CTO of Univision. We worked with CTOs, these major media companies, built our own little, fast agile teams, still have not been able to do it to the level that which we've been able to in the past couple of years. But this really, from a technology standpoint, the fact that we have access to all of this, it's not 100% there, but we're just at the cusp of actually being able to productize this. And the most important part is actually conveying confidence to our clients. So the model transparency, those markdown files, the annotations, all of that, essentially gives the lawyers, the people who are actually doing the contract themselves, it allows them to be confident that, hey, there is transparency, explainability, most important, accuracy, and that audit trail as well. So it's the business, the media business is all about content, all about eyeballs, and the fact that we can have tools to help people track the movies and TV series that they don't know they have sometimes. It's crazy, but it's really important. So thank you all. Appreciate the time. It's a really cool opportunity.
And I want to ask, remind me, who here has worked for 8 years in media that knows all of these terms that all of you have been using? Or how many people had an intern at a full device manufacturing company and knew everything about these products? And I think that's the biggest kudo. In addition to a lot of the technologies that you guys and Mercy Self into, you should, I want you to clap hands, but the clapping is also a lot about your accomplishment. You've done an incredible feat in 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. And I'm really proud of you. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you. All right, that's it.
I think you guys deserve some good rest. And then I can give you a lot of assignments afterwards. So have a good night. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.